Hideo is in Tokyo right now watching the show. So we want you to know, Hideo, that we're thinking of you.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 biggest video game controversies.
And then all of these accounts started being made to yell at me on Twitter, to talk about really disgusting personal details.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most famous and impactful controversies in the video game industry. If there's a gaming controversy you're scandalized about that didn't make our list, let us know in the comments. Number 10. PSN hack.
Sony has confirmed that hackers broke into its PlayStation network, exposing the personal information of up to 77 million users worldwide. So what does that mean for anyone who may have been exposed?
In April of 2011, the PlayStation network was hacked, resulting in it being shut down for nearly a month. Worse than being locked out, though, was the fact that 77 million users' account data was compromised, the largest data breach in gaming history. Sony delayed notifying users about the breach, leaving people and even governments worldwide up in arms.
Whoever's right, the big fear is that if someone has broken in, they might have accessed the personal data, maybe even credit card details, of tens of millions of PlayStation customers.
Legal actions were taken, and Sony did a lot of work to earn back public trust. Even so, the PSN hack made gamers everywhere aware of how vulnerable their information is.
Be very, very wary about agreeing to store information on a site.
Number 9. Kojima and Konami Split.
I've tried very unsuccessfully to give Hideo the award he rightfully won last year for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Hideo Kojima is one of gaming's few auteur directors. Famous for his work on Metal Gear Solid, Kojima is by now equally famous for his contentious split with company Konami. While Kojima's perfectionist nature certainly clashed with the company's increasing pursuit of cost-effective content like mobile games, it doesn't excuse anything they did to him.
He's still under an employment contract, and it's disappointing, and it's inconceivable to me that an artist like Hideo would not be allowed to come here and celebrate with his peers.
Not only was Kojima's connection to his final Metal Gear game with the company removed, but he was separated from his employees during development for 6 months, and his developers were demoted and effectively blacklisted. Kojima leaving and making his own studio only makes sense when you consider how poorly treated he and his employees were. Konami may still be making a profit, but their reputation may never recover.
We miss you. We hope to see you at the Game Awards 2016.
Number 8. #Gamergate.
Like, make really disgusting sexual comments, and it's the first thing you lose is all perspective.
Originating as a reaction to a sex scandal in 2014 involving developer Zoe Quinn, #Gamergate soon spiraled out of control. While some supporters were concerned about the ethics in gaming journalism raised by the scandal, the impromptu campaign largely became synonymous with harassment and a reaction against the rise of social justice issues and feminism in video games.
You naughty little angels deserve a good spanking.
Quinn and many other women involved in the gaming industry have been doxxed or otherwise harassed, both online and in person. While the gaming industry itself has made steps to be more inclusive in the years since Gamergate's inception, harassment still persists, and the tactics used by those involved have been used in other online movements.
I have a folder on my desktop called Those Who Left, and every time somebody sends me a message saying like, hey, I really admire your strength, but it's not worth it for me, I'm leaving.
Number 7. False Advertising and Unfulfilled Promises. Don't always get what you pay for, as any customer will tell you. However, over the last few decades, gamers have felt burned out by video games that don't live up to promises made by developers before release. No Man's Sky promised features that weren't available at launch. Cyberpunk 2077 downplayed technical problems so much that it received lawsuits. And it often feels like every other trailer played at E3 has a good chance of looking much better than the final game. Consumers are used to products like food looking better in ads, but talking up games to be better than they are feels straight up dishonest. Number 6. Xbox One's terrible launch. Whatever you think of the console now, Xbox One had a pretty awful start. Along with its confusing name, Xbox One's pre-launch suffered many controversies. Its first presentation focused on multimedia capabilities instead of games.
This one here is just one of the new amazing Xbox One exclusives you're about to hear a lot more about. You can also see I was listening to some music by Deadmau5 and watching a movie.
It was going to require users to use Kinect and always be online. Players would also be forbidden from playing used games. And while Microsoft naturally backpedaled heavily after the backlash these planned features received, enough that people nicknamed it the Xbox 180, players still had to contend with a huge day one patch to even use the console. But it was worth it to play the new games. At least that's what the YouTubers who were paid to praise them told us.
This partnership between Machinima and Microsoft was a typical marketing partnership to promote Xbox One in December.
Number 5. Mass Effect sex scenes.
Remember these words when doubt descends, Commander.
Thanks, I guess.
It may surprise anyone who has played Mass Effect or knows anything at all about the games, but the first entry in the franchise was the subject of controversy for its love scenes. Fox News took a widely inaccurate article by a conservative blogger and painted the game as if it was a highly graphic harem simulator. In reality, the love scenes in the series are briefly and rarely explicit.
So let's talk about who the video game is for. It might be for adults, but if you look at the statistics, who is playing video games but adolescent males, not their dads?
Fox and the blogger were roundly criticized by gamers for their wrong takes on the series, but the controversy is unfortunately symptomatic of mainstream media's frequent inability to do their homework on video games.
Close your eyes and relax, Commander.
Number 4. Crunch.
I felt trapped. And I didn't even have a chance, any time at all, to look for another job or I had no choice but to just power through.
While it shares its name with a delicious candy bar, crunch in the gaming industry is far less appetizing. Another word for compulsory overtime by game developers, crunch has been a growing problem in the industry. While some defend that crunch can lead to games being completed in a timely manner and with sufficient quality, others point to the poor working conditions for developers in general, and how games like Cyberpunk 2077 end up buggy messes despite crunch conditions.
Suggested solution: none.
Treating employees like their machines is always problematic, and the gaming industry is no exception.
I mean, what kind of strain did that put on you and your family and your relationship with your wife?
My wife is a saint and she was extremely patient, but of course it was very difficult and she kept telling me this is not right and this is not normal.
Number 3. E3 accidentally doxes attendees.
Gaming's biggest week with the best wall-to-wall live coverage. All the press events, including the reveal of Project Scorpio from Xbox.
E3 is the biggest convention in gaming, where fans, journalists, and developers gather to present and discuss the latest upcoming games, consoles, and content. However, the 2019 E3 proved disastrous on some of its attendees' personal lives.
We didn't need all this tension, damn it.
The website for the Entertainment Software Association, which runs E3, accidentally posted a public link with contact information on over 2,000 of the people who attended the event. Game journalists, YouTubers, and other visitors' information became publicly available, despite attempts to take it down. While few hostile actions were taken as a result, it's still a bad look to carelessly leak your guests' contact info for the world to see.
Okay.
Number 2. Battlefront 2's loot boxes.
The target is Protectorate Gleb, a local official who once mentored both Agent Hask and myself. I don't know how this connects to Operation Cinder, but I have to trust the Admiral.
Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2017 one, not the 2005 one, has proven to be one of the most controversial games of the 21st century so far. This is thanks to its microtransactions in the form of loot boxes. As well as being criticized for being a form of pay-to-win content, the loot boxes drew controversy worldwide and led to multiple countries' governments examining if they constitute gambling.
This is not our mission.
Stand down.
Oh, they totally do, by the way. While EA removed the loot boxes from the game and has made more steps to improve Battlefront 2, the impact of the debacle on the gaming industry and EA's stock price is still substantial.
They're just gonna toss us in Sunspot Prison before we can even say a word.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Mortal Kombat's violence creates the ESRB. During the 1990s, video games started becoming more realistic. Mortal Kombat may look cartoonish by modern standards, but the violence on display was shocking at the time. The United States government held hearings on violent video games, with Mortal Kombat being a prominent example.
Shame on people that produce that trash.
This resulted in the creation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board, which assigns ratings to games in North America and also spurred the creation of similar organizations in other countries. Mortal Kombat basically instituted a board whose decisions on who should be buying which games have proven as controversial as the game itself. Whether you think its ratings are too lax or too strict, if we had to rate who's been upset by the ESRB, we'd go with E for everyone.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.